Hey my friends, my name is Nick Offenkamp with the Tartan team. Today bringing you another video highlighting an incredible local builder here in the Clark County, Washington area. If you've been following along, I've been doing a series of videos highlighting the builders that have made Clark County such an incredible place to live, have contributed to the growth of the area over the past several decades. And in this video, I want to talk about Generation Homes Northwest, one of my favorite local builders here in the area, one that I definitely recommend you look into if you're considering building or brand new construction in the Vancouver, Washington area. Now, Generation Homes has been around since, I believe it's around 2008, 2009. They don't have the longest history compared to some of the other builders that I've highlighted. That being said, their leadership team is incredibly experienced. Aaron and Mary Helms being the owners, they have been around construction in the building industry, home building, for many, many years, 20, 30 years at least. And with their leadership team, they bring a combined experience of over 50 years of home building. So they definitely know what they're doing. They're all Northwest natives, and so they understand what it means to build in the Vancouver, Washington area, what it looks like with our topography, with the seismic activity that we have around here, with our weather and rain and dampness. They are prepared to build in all of that. But what I really love about Generation Homes is they're kind of this small and mighty team. The other builders, many of the other builders that I've highlighted so far are bigger production builders that are doing 200, 300, 400 or more homes a year. That's a lot of homes for a builder to crank out. Generation is a bit smaller in scale. They're doing 50 to 60 homes or so a year currently as of 2024. And that seems to be a really sweet spot for them because it allows them to do some of the best practices related to a production builder. They're doing enough homes where they're able to order materials at volume, be able to get discounts, have really good systems in place so that there's some predictability to the construction process. It also means they have an amazing library of floor plans, whether you're looking for like a 1,700 square foot single level, whether you want like a 4,000 square foot just massive house. They can do basements, they can do single level with an upstairs bonus room. Pretty much no matter what you're looking for, Generation is more than likely going to have a plan that you love. And I think that their engineering team does a really good job on the layout of these plans. They have a really good sense of space. Every Generation home that I've walked into has made a lot of sense. It's just intuitive floor plans. The room sizes feel good. The way that there's natural light, their use of windows, their high ceilings by default, all of those things just contribute to a home that feels really, really good as soon as you step inside of it. So that's one of the nice things about their size. They're big enough that they can bring some of the benefits of a production builder as relates to cost and process, but they're small enough too that they are really wonderful to work with, especially if you're looking for some more customization. Some of the bigger production builders that are doing several hundred homes a year, well, to try and make customizations or to go outside of their process too much just bogs down the system and they can't handle it. And now, of course, Generation, they like their system, they like their process, they've definitely refined it, and so it's best as much as possible to stay within that system that they have built. But I have found with them that they are more accommodating if there's little things that you're wanting to add to personalize the home or structural changes that you're wanting to make. They're at least willing to entertain those conversations, whereas some of the other builders that I've highlighted in this series, it's just a flat out no right off the bat. Generation is also known for doing big custom homes. And so maybe you don't want to do the production track at all, and you have a dream of something that you want to build. Well, Generation can absolutely do that. They have regularly been featured in Clark County's Parade of Homes, which is the best of the best when it comes to home builders. They've won several awards at those parades for their design, for best in show, for interior design. Whatever it is that you are dreaming of, Generation more than likely is going to be able to build it, and probably even to a higher degree than what you even had dreamed possible. I have been really impressed by some of the Parade of Homes homes that they have built. Their standard features generally are going to come with more inclusions than what I've seen from other local builders. You're generally going to get nicer flooring options, nicer hard surfaces. You're going to get a tile shower in the primary bathroom. You're going to get the higher ceilings, the larger windows. They do a really good job of including a lot up front in their base price so that there isn't huge sticker shock of when you go into their design selection process and you're choosing your personalized items. I just find that home buyers with Generation don't typically seem to spend as much in that phase of the build process compared to other builders because of the generous number of inclusions that you already get just built into the base price of the home. So that's another real advantage to them. Of course, what is included in each home depends a little bit from community to community. And so I won't promise, hey, this is what you get, because again, it does really depend on the community and the price point. They have slightly different packages. Speaking of communities, they're very much Clark County focused. And so you're going to find their communities in Vancouver, Battleground, Ridgefield, Le Center. I think that they've done a little bit in the Kamas-Washougal area. It wouldn't surprise me if they've got future developments that are out that way. But you're really going to find them in the most rapidly growing spots throughout Clark County, which is great. And they often are going to be found with other local builders like New Tradition Homes and Pacific Lifestyle Homes, Urban Northwest. They usually are purchasing lots together in those neighborhoods, which is something that's fairly common in Clark County. And I actually really like when you have a community with multiple builders because it creates a lot more aesthetic variety. Now, usually all of the builders are building a very similar sort of quality and size of home so that it doesn't feel like, oh, wow, there's one that's like a kind of inexpensive production track home and then this really nice custom build. That's not typically how the builders do it. There's definitely a baseline standard that all of the homes adhere to. But when there's multiple builders in there, create some nice aesthetic variety. That's one of the things that I've seen Generation consistently doing is cooperating with other builders, being in communities where they're building. And their communities are great. I really do like all of the locations that they pick, whether it's Le Center and they've got some really scenic views from the lots that they've chosen up there, whether it's Ridgefield and having a balance. They've got a few different communities currently, 2024. In Ridgefield, some that are more high-end, larger lots, 10,000 square feet or so. They've got a community in Ridgefield that's geared more towards first-time home buyers. And it's really cool to see that they're able to do both, having homes in the kind of the $550,000 to $600,000 entry-level price point, and then homes that are all the way up into $1 million and more, especially if you're doing a fully custom home with them. You could easily do a $2.5, $3 million home if you wanted to, and you would be so happy with it. In my experience of working with their team, I just love the people at Generation Homes. I've been really impressed in my interactions with Aaron Helms, the owner. I've been on a couple of phone calls with him. I've appreciated his spirit, the way that he's interacted with clients of mine. Their salespeople are fantastic. Rachel and Kelly, they do a wonderful job. My limited interactions with their construction crews, I've been really happy with the interactions that I've had with those folks. And pretty consistently, everybody that I've talked to that lives in a Generation home, well, they've been really happy. Generation is fairly standard 1-year builder warranty. That covers all workmanship within the home. And so if you've got nail pops or crack and tile, grout, whatever, those are the things that in the first year they're going to take care of. But like many builders, they also offer the third-party Homebuyer 210 warranty, which gives you 2 years coverage on all of your electrical and plumbing systems, and then 10 years coverage with all of your structural systems, so foundation, framing, roof. And that does give you some nice peace of mind. Who is Generation Homes for? Well, if you like having a small but mighty team, if you want to have a bit more of a personal touch, more opportunity for customization, then Generation is definitely a builder that you should consider. They're really, really wonderful to work with. They build just a phenomenally high quality home. They're energy efficient. They feel really good inside. You get fantastic standard features. So there's a lot of positives there. Now, what are potentially some of the downsides or disadvantages to working with Generation? Well, as a smaller builder, they're not going to have quite as many communities or lot options as some of the larger builders may have. And so you're going to be a little bit more limited if you're building with them as to where and what communities you can build into. Also, with being a little bit of a smaller builder, I do find that their price point is just slightly higher. They're extremely competitive, but on the whole, just slightly higher than some of the builders that do a higher volume of homes. And that makes sense, but in many ways, I do think that that slightly higher price point is justified because, again, what I had said, their included features generally are higher than what you're going to see with other builders. So many other builders, they include almost nothing. And so, yeah, they've got a low base price, but then when you get into the design center, you're spending $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 to really get the home that you want. And I find that with Generation, while you may be spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more in base price compared to a similar builder, you're probably going to spend half of what you might spend at another builder with another builder in that design studio, design selection phase. So I think that in the end, the value pretty well balances out. Generation does not have their own design studio. And so you do have a couple more appointments. You're working directly with their vendors for hard surfaces and for cabinetry. Some people don't love that because it's less of a streamlined process, but some people do really like that because then you're dealing directly with the cabinet company, directly with the tile and flooring company. And so that's kind of neither here nor there, just depends on what your preference is. Anybody that I've talked to that's gone through the process or worked with, they've been totally happy with going through Generation's vendors directly. They haven't felt like they were missing anything by the lack of design studio. It also means that you go into those meetings with allowances for your hard surfaces or for your cabinetry, and that can be a little bit confusing to folks. But hey, with an agent like me, I'm able to walk you through that, help set expectations, and course, pitching now, but that is one of the main benefits to having an agent who's looking out for you, able to set those expectations, able to make sure that you're getting the most value as you're building your new home, just overseeing that process. So, all right, little advert aside there, but those are really the main advantages and disadvantages that I can think of. It's really hard to say anything negative about Generation because they build such a beautiful home. They have a great reputation in the community, a lot of community involvement. Even just this summer, they were sponsoring a big relay race that was cool to see, and they were doing a lot of that for charity. So definitely a builder that you can feel good about working with, a builder that I'm very confident as an agent is going to take good care of you and that you're going to be very happy with the home that you get at the end of the day. So if you got questions about Generation homes, well, hey, I would love to help. And this is a caveat that I should say at the end of every video, but as much as I love these guys, it is always in your best interest to have an agent who you're working with and representing you. So before you reach out to any builder directly, I do encourage you to reach out to me first so that I can help get the ball rolling. One of the things that buyers often don't know is that there is a what's called a procuring cause clause in builder sales contracts. And so if you as a home buyer reach out to a builder and you don't have an agent at that point, you can no longer include an agent in the sale. At least the builder isn't going to pay them. That's going to be an expense that's entirely out of your pocket. And so if you do want to have representation, which I always recommend, then you should definitely reach out to whether it's me or another agent first, and then have that agent help initiate contact with the builder. Make sure that they're there when you meet with them so that you're not on the hook for a significant commission out of pocket to your agent. All right, that's what I got on Generation Homes Northwest. Love them. I'll include links to their website down in the description below. As always, let me know if you got questions. Let me know if you got thoughts. You can comment below, or you can find all of my contact details also in the description. I'd love to hear from you. Would love to talk further. Thanks for engaging here. Be back soon.